Hi everyone, welcome. Today we are going to study the lecture number 7 of the phase A of our self-knowledge course. In this lecture, we are going to talk about conjurations. Those are some protection conjurations that are going to be very helpful as we advance in our inner work. Today, we are going to study the conjuration of Belilín, the magic circle, Jupiter, and Pentalpha. Remember that if you are not yet part of our WhatsApp or Telegram groups, you can join them. You can find the link here in the description of this video. So you can receive all the lectures from this self-knowledge course that consists of 50 lectures on its phase A, 25 on its phase B, and all these lectures are shared totally for free. Also, in our groups, we send complementary material on each of these topics, written material in PDF format and also audio of each one of these lectures. Okay, so let's study these conjurations and let's see how these protection tools will allow us to clean our environment from any dark negative energy, also how they are going to help us to protect our own energy, which is the most valuable resource that we all have. And also, let's see how these conjurations can help us to unmask false beings of light or fake masters in the internal worlds. Okay, so let's start by talking a little about what is a conjuration. You may have heard the word conjuration, right? Applied in various situations. But actually, what conjuration means is to prevent or to avoid, with foresight, a negative situation or force. That is actually the real meaning of conjuration. It's using the power of our word to make a solution of a problem that we are like having at that moment, is to protect us from an attack, for example, that we are receiving. And it is very important how we learn to protect ourselves, because as we start this process of self-knowledge, right, with the tools that we are receiving in these lectures, we are going to start making a wise use of our energy. We are going to start saving our energy from as we work on the psychological death, right? We like save that energy from the bad use that our psychological defects constantly make of this energy. So we are filling ourselves with more and more energy each time, and that is going to make us powerful beings. But there are in this world, right, and in the lower dimensions, those entities that will try to steal that energy from us, because as they don't make a wise use of their own energy, they live and they get their power from stealing energy from others. And as soon as we start filling ourselves with energy, right, we become like a lighting bubble. I don't know, like yeah, like a light that they can easily see. Okay, there is a source of energy. We can go there. We can try to steal it. So for that reason, if we start understanding how available is our energy, we need to learn to protect that energy, right? And for that, we are going to learn these conjurations. The first of these is the conjuration of Belilín. This is a chant that will make away any larvae, any dark energy, any dark entity that is in the place in which we find ourselves, right? Every time that we are going to perform a practice like meditation, like astral projection, like a sexual practice, for example, in which we are going to activate that energy like in a superior way. So we are going to make that light like greater, right? In that practice, we need to protect ourselves. It is also important that we learn to be protected at all times, right? Because yes, these dark entities are going to try to be stealing, to find a way to steal our energy. So we need to learn to clean and protect ourselves. And this chanting is what is going to clean the place in which we are, and then we can close that place with the magic circle that we are also going to explain, sorry, so that this energy, these entities, these larvae, do not re-enter the place in which we are. And of course, when we are performing our esoteric practices, these conjurations we cannot miss them, right? And this chanting is very very simple. To perform it, we must be totally concentrated without doing anything else. We're going to even close our eyes and concentrate in our hearts, imagining each one of the words of this chanting, and we are going to sing with power, right? And the chant is like this: Belilín, 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 Amphora of salvation. I would like to be close to you. Materialism has no power over me. Belilín, Belilín, Belilín. That simple is the chant, and it is a very powerful chant. You must chant it 3 times, right? To clean all the space. Actually, Belilín is a Sanskrit word that means tower of fire. So here we are calling that inner fire on our spinal column, right? In most people, that fire is latent, but anyway, we can call that fire that is there in our spinal column to help us clean the space. Of course, as you start and advance in the work of awakening the sacred fire of the Kundalini and ascending that sacred fire of the Kundalini, each of those conjurations are going to be increasingly powerful, okay? And when we say Amphora of salvation, we are actually talking about our sexual glands. Those are the amphoras that hold the waters of life inside us, which is our sexual creative energy, right? And when we say, I would like to be close to you, we are there ratifying that we do not longer want to waste those waters, that sexual energy, right? And when we say materialism has no power over me, we are like stating that we are no longer going to be defeated or let become slave of the power of materialism, which is the power of the Black Lodge, right? And then we chant Belilín, Belilín three more times. We say all these parts 3 times in total, sorry, and that will clean the space, right? And once we have cleaned that space, we immediately go to seal it. We're going to create a magic circle around us to protect that place. And we are going to do the same, concentrated in our hearts without being distracted with anything. And with strength, right? We are going to ask our inner Father. Father of mine, Lord of mine, God of mine, I beg you, if it is your will, to command my elemental intercessor to leave from my body, or to get out of my body, and draw a magic circle of protection around this place, the place that we want to close. It can be around our own body, it can be around our bedroom, it can be around our whole house, right? And then we say, in order to make it free from any evil forces. Then we imagine our inner Father commanding the elemental intercessor like this. Elemental intercessor, elemental intercessor, elemental intercessor. Do your work in the name of Christ, by the power of Christ, by the majesty of Christ. And then we are going to chant the mantra S 3 times while we imagine that in clockwise direction, this little angel or elemental intercessor draw that circle, right? Around the place that we are closing with a bright, fiery light. And we chant. as we imagine the first circle, right? And that way we're going to seal. We must imagine clearly the place that we are closing. Imagine how the circle is completely closed, right? And there we are going to be fully protected inside that circle. This elemental intercessor that we are asking our inner being to invoke here and to command is actually a part of our being. Is that guardian angel? Is a part of our conscious part that is there in our instinctive center, who has all the wisdom of nature. And this part of our being actually do not obey us because we are what, fallen, full of ego. This part of our being obeys our inner father. So that is why we must ask our inner father to command the elemental intercessor to draw this magic circle of protection. Remember, in a clockwise direction, right? What we chant the mantra as 3 times, closing the perimeter of the place where we are. Say it can be our body, our bedroom, our house. What we must take into account is that if we or anything else that is there inside the circle step out the circle will be broken, right? So we need to make the circle once again if we need to be protected again. So anytime that anyone step out the circle, it will be closed. It will be broken, right? And well, that is the magic circle of protection. Those conjurations are very, very powerful. You're gonna see, you're going to experience how you feel, how the energy of the space feel like more light, yeah, right? Feels more comfortable once you sing the Belilín. For example, there are people who suffer from the sleep paralysis, right? That they fall asleep and they feel like something like step inside them and is there like trying to shock them when they are sleeping, right? And those are attacks from black magicians that comes from the fourth dimension to make the people to be scared of, angry, and to for through that steal their energy, or to make the person sexually aroused and then to steal the energy from that body that is there if laying down sleeping, right? But when you perform the Belilín in the magic circle, you leave your body totally protected. So that is why it is very important that every night when going to sleep, we also perform the Belilín and the magic circle to leave that body protected while we are unfolded in the astral plane. We must not forget that. You can even in the astral plane when you are conscious, you can verify the how powerful these conjurations are. You can also come to see the magical circle protecting your bedroom or your body. You can see them in the interior world, and if you are there, for example, conscious in a dream, right? And there are people there around you who's like I don't know, people that are your psychological defects, and you, for example, chant the Belilín, you're going to see how they fly away, how they run away this powerful conjuration, right? And we also can use the Jupiter conjuration. This conjuration is to to prevent a direct attack. When you feel that you are in danger, that someone is going to attack you, be it in the physical world or be it in the internal worlds, you can use this conjuration to neutralize the psychological defect that is acting in that person, in that animal, or in that entity that is trying to harm you, right? And how we perform this conjuration, we are going to put our left hand covering our solar plexus, like the area around our navel, right? And the right hand we are going to lift the thumb, the index, and the middle fingers like this. And we are going to, and the pinky and the ring finger are going to remain closed. And in this position, you are going to perform this conjuration like this. You're going to say, concentrated also, right? In your heart, without admitting any thoughts, and with strength in your voice, you're going to say, in the name of Jupiter, Father of all gods, I conjure thee, te vigos coslim. And as you say, te vigos coslim, you're going to imagine how from those three fingers a ray comes out and go and neutralize the defect that is acting in the person, animal, entity that is trying to harm you, right? And you're going to repeat this conjuration 3 times. Say it again. In the name of Jupiter, Father of all gods, I conjure thee, te vigos coslim. And imagine the rays going there to neutralize the psychological defect acting in the person. The 3rd time, in the name of Jupiter, Father of all gods, I conjure thee, te vigos coslim. The same process there, right? And well, what else is this conjuration useful for? Let's say that you are investigating something in the astral plane. You want to call a certain master to give you a certain information, or you find there, yeah, you meet there a certain master, or there comes a being of light, or this beautiful angel, or whatever there you see in the astral plane. You must conjure that master, being of light, or whatever 3 times to make sure that it actually is the master, that actually is the being of light. Because in those internal world, in those lower dimensions, lower from the 6th and 7th, those are dimensions of full consciousness. But when we talk about the 5th dimension, the 4th dimension, those black magicians can actually move there in the lunar part of these dimensions, and they can disguise themselves as being of lights or masters, right? To try to divert us in our past, to give us false oracles, for example. And we must be alert, and we must conjure these masters or whatever 3 times to make sure if they remain the same, right? After you perform these 3 conjurations, they also even congratulate you if you for being cautious, right? And then you can be sure. But if you make the conjuration those 3 times and they fly away, or they run away, or they lose, or they change their appearance, or they start to become angry, then you can know that they are black magicians disguised of these masters. So when they go away, you can call again the master, and again you can conjure until you are totally sure that that person you are talking to is the master that you actually want to invoke, right? And anyone that is coming to try to attack you, to try anyone that is like, I don't know, like it can be your own defects there in the astral plane, and a monster or whatever appears there. You apply the Jupiter conjurations 3 times, and no dark entity or black magician can resist on this powerful conjuration. In this conjuration, we are like calling up the power of Jupiter that is here in our inner microcosm. The planet Jupiter is here, who is the giver of the solar system, right? Who is the father of all gods, because no gods could break himself without the help of Jupiter. And when we say, I conjure thee, we are actually conjuring the psychological defect acting on the entity, person, or whatever. And the mantra Te Vigos Coslim, you must practice this mantra so you learn it. is the mantra is like the command to make the rays go out from your fingers, right? And remember to repeat the full conjuration 3 times, right? And well, that is a Jupiter conjuration, a very useful conjuration. You can also use in the physical world whenever you feel that you are in danger. Let's say someone is coming to rob you. Let's say someone is going to rape you. Let's say an animal is coming to attack you. Use this conjuration and you are going to see how you don't need any other defense. That psychological defect acting on that person, animal, or whatever is going to become neutralized, and the person is going to be like don't knowing what is he going to do or whatever. It's going to be like loose. So try it and you're going to verify the how powerful this conjuration is. And well, the last conjuration that we are going to learn today is the Pentalpha conjuration. You're going to use this conjuration when you leave the magic circle of protection. Because when you perform the Pentalpha, it's like if you are creating that magic circle all around yourself. You're creating like this Pentalpha, right? With this circle in your aura, right? And it is going to protect you as you walk, as you go to work, as you go whatever outside of your magical circle. And this Pentalpha conjuration is performed by chanting some mantras and by performing certain runic movements. You must to do this because it's very simple. Just to make your legs apart, right? Stretch your arms with the palms up and you say clean. That is the first mantra. Then you put your arms up, touching the points of your finger touching up, and you say Krishnaya. Then you lower your arms till they touch your head, and then you sing Govindaya. Then you, with the tip of your fingers, you're gonna touch your shoulders, and you're gonna say Gopihana. Then you're going to stretch your arms again, now with the palms facing down, and then you say Vaya Vaya, and the last position is crossing the arms in front, the right hand over the left hand, and then you say Swaha. This is clean, Krishnaya, Govindaya, Gopihana, Vaya Vaya, Swaha. And that way you're going to be performing around yourself this Pentalpha conjuration. Actually, you can do only the movements without the mantras, and it's going to work as well. Because the positions, as you can see in this illustration, are going to be like shaping this powerful 5-pointed star around you, right? And it's closing you, right? And what this Pentalpha means and why a Pentalpha, because this 5-pointed star that is there in this position with the head up, right? It represents the raised man with his 5 bodies already raised, his 5 solar bodies. The Pentalpha, when it's inverted, which is the one from black magic, actually represents the opposite, represents a conjuration, represents a man with the head towards hell. But this is the opposite thing. This is something black, this white, sorry, something very powerful because it represents that person that is working to raise these bodies and to go up. So this is a very powerful conjuration that you could also perform in the internal worlds, and you can get to see how this fiery Pentalpha shapes around you as you perform the movements. And with this conjuration, you are going to be protected the whole day. You must be, of course, alert. You must be, of course, self-observing yourself to keep the power of this Pentalpha, right? But as soon as you go to, let's say, to you return to your house and you're going to be there, you must perform the magic circle. Yeah, so protect the whole place and when going to sleep especially, right? And well, those are the four conjurations. They are very, very helpful. I invite you to practice them to prove the veracity of how powerful these conjurations are. And well, that was today's lecture. I want to invite you to our next lecture of Phase A that we are going to be sharing with you next Monday. A very interesting conjuration in which we are going to know the laws of evolution and the laws of involution that manages this nature. You're going to learn how our essence go through the kingdoms of nature in the wheel of samsara in its evolutive and involutive way. And we are going to learn about the law of revolution. That is what will allow us to get out from that wheel of samsara, to free ourselves from the laws of evolution and involution. So don't miss that very interesting lecture. Remember that if you have any question, you can leave them in the comment box and we will be gladly solving any question that you have. Or you can contact us directly and the same, you're going to be glad to help you to answer any concern you have. And remember that if you are not yet part of our groups, you can find the link to join our groups and receive complimentary material of each of these lectures here in the description of this video. Well, thank you very much and see you the next time. Bye bye.